Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something, well, pretty controversial. It's a framework for attraction that argues it's not a choice at all. It's more like a biological program that's just hardwired into us. So, the whole idea here, which comes from a really popular online source, is provocative to say the least. It claims that attraction, especially for women, isn't something you decide to feel. It's just this uncontrollable, subconscious thing that happens. Yeah, according to this theory, logic has nothing to do with it. The feeling is supposedly triggered by what the source calls an internal radar. You can think of it like a subconscious scanner that's just always on, always working in the background. So, what exactly is this framework? Let's break it down step by step. We're going to look at the mindset you're supposed to have, the body language you're supposed to use, and even a really specific formula for how you should talk. Okay, let's dive in. First up is the core idea, the whole foundation of this thing, and it all comes down to one central concept, the so-called attraction radar. Right from the get-go, the source frames this information like it's some kind of ultra-rare secret. Something that holds the key to how attraction really works, something most people will never, ever know. And here's the most important part. The real key to understanding this, attraction is presented as a totally involuntary reaction. It's not a choice you make, it's an emotional response that just gets triggered by certain things. This slide really lays it out perfectly. The theory basically splits the mind in two. You've got your logical mind, right? The one that thinks and makes decisions. But then there's this other part, this subconscious radar that just feels and reacts. And importantly, it operates completely outside of logic. So what's this radar even for? Well, the theory claims it has one simple biological goal, to find the right man. And the way it does that is by constantly scanning and asking one simple question. Is his value higher than hers? Okay, so that's the theory. But how does it actually work in practice? Well, it all starts before you even say a word. According to the source, getting your internal mindset right is absolutely crucial. So the framework really boils down to two big mental shifts. Number one, you have to stop putting her on a pedestal. And number two, you have to see yourself as being in the higher position or having higher value. It's all about projecting this rock-solid confidence right from the start. And get this, the ultimate signal of high value, according to this theory, is being totally unconcerned with what the other person thinks of you. It's not about being arrogant, it's about being so comfortable in your own skin that you just don't need their approval. It's a state of total ease. All right, so once you've got that mindset locked in, the next step is about the physical stuff, the body language. These are the nonverbal cues that are supposed to send those high-value signals straight to that subconscious radar. And here's where it gets kind of interesting. First, the video tells you to forget basically all the common body language advice you've ever heard. Keep your head up, sit up straight. It calls all of that stuff nonsense and says it just doesn't work. So instead of those old rules, it gives you three new ones that are pretty counterintuitive. Leaning away, being willing to walk away, see the pattern? They're all designed to show that you are not needy and you don't need her approval. So let's be clear. The main takeaway here isn't about memorizing a specific pose or posture. It's about actually being comfortable. It's about getting into a state of mind where you're so at ease that it just naturally communicates, hey, I have nothing to prove here. Okay, this next part is where it gets really, really specific. We're moving on to the actual conversation, and the source doesn't just give you a few tips. Oh, no. It lays out a precise mathematical formula for how you should talk. Check this out. It recommends a strict 50-30-20 split for your conversation topics. And there's a very clear reason for this. The whole point is to shift the focus almost completely away from you. And this table breaks down the rules for each slice of that pie. The core idea is simple. Whoever talks most about themselves is the one looking for approval. So this formula makes you do the exact opposite. You spend most of the time listening to her, talking about random stuff around you, and you reveal very, very little about yourself. And this all ties right back to that core theory we talked about. Think about it. In a normal conversation, it's almost like a job interview where you're trying to sell yourself. By flipping that script, you're signaling that you're the one in the power position. You're the one who doesn't need a thing. So at this point, it feels like we've got the whole system, right? You've got the mindset, the body language, the conversation formula. But wait, there's more. The source introduces one last, final challenge, something that it says can completely derail everything.
And that challenge comes in the form of what the source calls tests. Now, these aren't supposed to be mean or malicious. They're described as these subconscious things she might do, almost like her radar is trying to figure out if you're the real deal or if it's all just an act.
And the source is really clear here. These moments are critical. It warns that if you fail even a single one of these tests, you could lose your cool, lose that high-value frame, and basically undo all the work you've put in up to that point. And that's pretty much where the source leaves us. It gives you this whole elaborate system for creating attraction from the ground up, and then it ends on this huge cliffhanger, pointing out the system's biggest weakness. So what are we supposed to take away from all this? Well, we've just deconstructed a pretty fascinating system that's built entirely on this idea of subconscious communication. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? When it comes to attraction, where do you draw the line between having genuine, authentic confidence and just putting on a really, really good performance? That's definitely something to think about.